Welcome to the channel and thanks for tuning in. In this video, I want to give you an idea how an AI agent can be used with logic apps. We are talking about an AI agent that listens to SAP events and execute business logic autonomously. At the heart of this setup is event-driven architecture. SAP pushes a notification the moment something happens. A business event is triggered. For example, sales order created. This event acts as the start button for our AI agent. So let's dive in. All right, this start button is implemented as a webhook subscription on our event broker. What you see on my screen here is the logic app, which implements the logic and also uses the component of the agent loop. With the agent loop, you can implement an AI agent inside of logic apps. This is exactly what you see on the screen right now. So, depending on the event type, the agent needs to understand what to do next. There are two event types. The first one is sales order created, and this event stands for a successful state. So that means in SAP, a sales order was successfully created. And we have another state, which is an error event, and an error event indicates an unsuccessful state. That means something happens on the way to our SAP system. Let's go ahead and talk about the success way, so to say the cool way. And when the agent receives the sales order created event, the agent needs to update the history of the business partner in our CRM, which is the Dynamics 365. And for this, you see here, I reuse an existing logic app workflow to fulfill this. And the cool thing about agent loop in logic apps is that you can reuse your existing workflow. So you do not have to start from scratch every time. So what we are doing here is we configure the agent, and this agent has a tool, update custom history, and inside of this tool, we are updating the history depending on the sales order created event in Dynamics 365. All right, so this is the cool way. On the other side, we have errors, and we need to handle these errors because it can happen during our business process. And for this, our agent needs to know what to do next when an error occurs. And for this, I have a tool here which brings knowledge into the agent. So this is a mechanism, so to say, to bring knowledge to an LLM. What does the LLM does not before know? So this is exactly the point here. So, and from here, I use a SharePoint connector. So that means our standard operating procedure, which describes what to do in an error, is stored on a SharePoint. And I will show you this here. So this is exactly the stored or the standard operating procedure document for handling technical and business-oriented error codes. So that means that at any time, someone can edit this document, and every time the agent receives an error state, it always reads the newest one from the SharePoint, so it gets to know when something new is added to the document or someone has updated the document here as well. So what we are doing here is we are reading this standard operating procedure. Then we pass the document. Pass document is very helpful because then you can reduce the token which the agent uses in the next thinking mechanism here, or in the next reason loop. So, and inside of this, I will go back to the standard operating procedure here because every error needs to logged as an incident in ServiceNow. I will show you that. We'll go back, and this is exactly what we've implemented here. So we have a tool, and we are using the Salesforce connector. I want to say that's wrong. The ServiceNow connector here to create an incident inside of ServiceNow. And there is something special when it comes to a business error. So let's go back to the standard operating procedure here. When there is a business-oriented error, the error information should be logged inside of the business context. But the special thing is that we need to email the business department. So in this case, this is my email address, but you can also add more email addresses here, or in the future, or someone is leaving the company, then you need to remove this email address here. And when something or someone is hired, then you can also add the email addresses here as well. And the special thing here is that without creating logic inside of our logic app, without coding and so on, I specify in this document that in the email that will send to the business department, I want to have the incident number from the created incident in ServiceNow. So this is exactly what I told here in this document. So let's go back to our agent. And to send an email, our agent needs another tool, and this is the send email tool. And inside of the send email tool, I'm using the Office connector here to send an email from Logic Apps directly. So this is the explanation of this. So let's go and explore some of the requirements an agent needs. So in this case, an agent needs to be connected to an AI model. In this case, we are using the GPT 4.1 model, which is an Azure OpenAI model, but you can also use Foundry here. And then very important thing is you need to provide a prompt. And in this prompt, it describes exactly what I've told you a minute or a second ago. So I will not go through it, but it will create the boundaries, or it will set the guardrails and set which personality this agent is. And that's it. So let's see this in action. So I will not use SAP right now for this demo. I will show you the payload which SAP will send to us. And for this, let me open up my Bruno client here. So Bruno is my REST client here. So let's bring that in. And as you can see here, I'm sending a cloud event. And this is a cloud event which exactly looks like when it comes from SAP. And in this case, this is a sales order created event. So just to remember, that marks a successful state. Our sales order was successfully created inside of SAP, and our newly created sales order has the number 6089. So now I will send this. As you can see, we have a 202 accepted status code. And now let's go back to our Logic app here and see what happened. This is exactly our run. Let's open up. And here we can see, let's scroll down. This is our payload. And on the right side, we see the reasoning of the agent. So this is another very cool thing inside of Logic app, because you have a visual log, so you can see what's going up under the hood. So there's no black box, so you can see what the agent is doing and why he is doing, or why he is reasoning in that way. So right now, this is the system prompt again. And after that, the agent is reasoning. So there is a success, and the agent receives a sales order created with sales order 6089 that has been processed. And in this case, we want to update the Dynamics or the custom history inside of Dynamics 365. And this is exactly what you see here on the left side. So this is what happens when the sales order created event comes into our agent here. So this is the happy path, but we also want to see the scary path. So what happened in case of an error. So let's open up again our Bruno client, and I've also prepared an error event. And this error event has the following information. We want to raise a business 001 error from error type business. And the error message here is that the order amount exceeds the credit limit of our business partner. So, and this is what we want to send right now. So as you can see, we have a 202 accepted. Let's go back to our run history here. Refresh. Yeah, here we got the newly created run. So now let's open up the reasoning a little bit. So this is the system prompt again. And now there are some actions taken. The first one is the agent reads the standard operating procedure document. So it loads up from SharePoint because he received an error. So, or the agent receives an error. So, and now he classified the error as a business-oriented error based on the error code business 001. And in this case, he created a ServiceNow incident with the following details: business 001, error type business, and order amount exceeds credit limit. And the ServiceNow incident number is INC 0010002. And all the information are included now in the email, which will be sent to the business department. So let's check that if we received an email. So I will bring that in. And as you can see, we received an email with the order amount exceeds the credit limit, and ServiceNow incident number is INC 0010002. Okay, that's good. Now let's check that in our ServiceNow. And now we need to refresh here. And as you can see, we have a new incident, and from the short description you can see this is exactly our incident created by the AI agent based on our standard operating procedure document. As you have seen, agents are perfect when there is a dynamic business environment and you want to avoid the complexity of nested if-else conditions and so on. So thanks again for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you do not want to miss such content in the future, and see you next time. Bye.